Peace, peace, peace. What's good? What's good? What's good, family? What's good? Wow, wow. Hope everybody had a beautiful, beautiful weekend. I sure did. Had Bronx Dale Day. For all of those that missed it, you missed a good one. You missed a good one. You missed a good one. Today, you guys can laugh all you want, but I had to find my reading glasses because there's a lot of stuff I'm going to be reading today. And so I wanted to be prepared, and I got my reading glasses on, and it's going to be all good. DJ Phase with the reading glasses on. Okay, okay. So wait, hold up. Speaking about Bronxdale Day, Cool Chip came and saw me, and I was I was so glad to see Cool Chip. Cool Chip came and he gave me the okay about Chuck Chill Out. So Chuck Chill Out's doing a lot better, and so that's a great news. That's great news. And there's a couple of things going on in the news, today and yesterday, basically all last week. I'm not into politics, but all I can say is if you're going to vote for Kamala, there's some things you should do some research for first before you. But that goes with anybody that you're going to vote for, any candidate or anything you're going to vote for. Usually, you have to do some research and find out what's the goings ons with it. Okay, so today's topic is what are the elements of hip hop. What are the elements of hip hop? Well, a lot of people say there's only 3 elements. Some people say there's 4 elements. Some people say there's 5 elements. But I'm going to show today that there's much more elements to hip hop than just those 3 elements, 5 elements. There's a lot of times people say, well, why is graffiti an element? What does that have to do with hip hop? Remember, so what we're when we talk about hip hop, we're not just talking about a music, we're not just talking about rap music or DJ, we're talking about all of it, all of the whole culture of it, of hip hop, and so those some things that come into play that people are not even thinking about. They're just saying, okay, well, why is graffiti a part of element, and what else, so I'm going to go into it. So since I am DJ Phase, all you guys already know what's the first thing element that I'm going to talk about. Okay, so let's talk about this guy. Okay, so now a lot of people don't recognize or know who this guy is. So I did a little bit of research to show I already knew who he was, and I did a little bit of research and picking up so that I could actually say and give a account of who he really is. So his name is Jack Leroy Cooper. Okay, 1888 to 1970, is considered the first African American radio disc jockey in the United States, and is often called the undisputed patriarch of black radio. In 1929, WSBC in Chicago commissioned Cooper, a veteran stage performer and columnist for the Chicago Defender, to be their first black radio host. In 2012, he was inducted into the National Radio Hall of Fame. Okay, so let's go back and look at this person. Okay, so now, one thing that I noticed when I saw this picture years ago, what I noticed is that there is one turntable that we can see, and that was the picture that they presented, and it has just that one turntable. And so I thought about it and I said, you know what? In the beginning of our creation, that's what we had also. We only had one turntable. So it makes a lot of sense to see something that old to be actually one of the first African American people to actually DJ and be a DJ host. Now you got to remember, even looking at the vinyl that's on the turntable, it was a total different thing as far as music was concerned. A lot of the vinyl had voice, and it was just voice, so it might have been a speech. It was a lot of things, a lot of different components that went into the DJing at that time. So, assassination might have been recorded and put on a platter to be played to actually go ahead and show the world or the radio people that was in the radio distance in the of that channel, that actual service, to see and hear what they were actually putting on the platter. So that became, here, let me throw this up with my one turntable. I just had to throw that in there. I had to throw my one turntable in there as my first beginnings. So back to what I was saying. So that's the DJ part of it. So for those that say, okay, well, DJ's been in for a long time, and this person was the first person that DJ'd, and this person was the first person that DJ'd. So we kind of get it. We look at those different elements, or say DJs, first DJs, and so we go back to this guy, and this guy, like, he was in 1929. Okay, 1929. So that's before a lot of us were even thought of, in 1929. So yes, DJing, the one element that was already in. So we can't call it, of course, we cannot call that hip hop at that time. So, and I think that's what's getting a lot of people confused. What's getting a lot of people confused is that they say that, okay, so there's a certain person that put all of these things together, and that's what made it hip hop. And that's just not, that's kind of false. Okay, so now let's go to the Mcing, the microphone Mcing. Okay, so now rapping on the microphone, because that's one thing that we have to say is that when I showed you the prior DJ, you see he had a microphone in his hand. I mean, in front of him. So he would read off the information, and he would say something. So some of the time he would have a record playing behind what he was saying. So that meant that he was actually doing what we do today, and that means emceeing. So he was definitely emceeing at the time. Okay, so now let's go to these guys. So these guys, okay, let me give you another picture of them. Okay, these guys right here, they actually did what we say that they did. They actually did uh, on the music, over the music and to the music. Okay. And They want to play the actual video, because I don't know what YouTube does or whatever, but I just wanted to share this with you. Okay.
Brother Noah, my God's talking, said he would ride on the wind and tide. Hey, children, stop still and listen to me. God walked down to the brandy sea. He declared that the aim was to send a man, and then he decided to destroy the land. He spoke to Noah. Noah stopped. He said, Noah, I want you to build me an ark. I want you to build it 3 cubits long. I want you to build it big and strong. I want it 50 high and 50 wide, so it will stand the wind and tide. It's oh no.
Okay. So the reason why I actually played that was to show, okay, so that's early. That's early. I don't know when that was. I'll look it up and find out actually when that was, that recording was. But it was early, very, very early in the days. And what they were doing, they were actually rapping, rhyming over the music, and that's what they were doing. There's no doubt about that. That's not what they were doing, but that's exactly what they were doing. So which brings me to the actual sentence that I'm going to say. The sentence that I'm going to say is that they were here, and they produce this call, this MC call, way before hip hop was even created. Okay, so that was an element that you have in hip hop. Okay, now this is the next topic that I want to bring up, is this, because this is something that's really, really controversial, because at the time that this dance was created, uh, it was more commercialized. So it became commercialized when people were going, just like the twist came and it was commercialized, and that's where people learned of it. They learned of it. Let me see if I have the other one. No, that's that here. Okay, so now this is a new dance sensation, and if you look in the corner to see the lady that's there, uh, it was actually a dance that was created by us, but danced by another group of people. Okay, that was another group of people. I'm trying to find where I put it, but I'll have to come back to that. I have to come back to it and show the dates and the times that this is, or you can Google it and look it up now to find out for yourself. But the reason why I brought that up was because since that dance, and this was in the 30s or something like that, since that dance, there have been several other dances. So one of the conversations that I had just the other day was, what came first, the hip hop DJ or the hip hop dancer? So it was a long debate, but I came to the conclusion that the hip hop DJ was there first, because number one thing is, one of the points that they rose to me and said was that they could be in their house listening to the radio, and they could hear a James Brown song and actually burn and and break to that song. And that's true. That's 100% true. But what happens when that song goes off and the next slow song or the next song, because you can't control the radio. So what happens when that next song or the commercial comes off? You have to stop dancing. Okay, you have to stop dancing. And so now the hip hop DJ actually plays a song, and then before that song is finished, puts the next song on. So it's a continuous dancing. You're not stopping to dance. And that's what the difference is between a hip hop DJ and just listening to the radio. So I would have to agree and say that yes, the hip hop DJ came first before the dancer, the dancers, the hip hop dancers, because that's what made it hip hop, when you were able to continue what you were doing. If you're getting ready to make your move and everything, and then the radio cuts it to a different thing, or sometimes, and believe me, in earlier days, they would get right up to the break part and cut it off or play something else, and that would just disturb us basically. So we would put on the record and play it as many times as we wanted to play it, and do whatever we wanted to do with that record, and the next record that we would choose would be a similar record that we could actually play that part of it. And so yes, that's an element of hip hop, is the DJ. The DJ is basically the one that can put all the elements together, the DJ. The MC is the one that controls the crowd. Busy B is a excellent controller of the crowd. He always been like that. He always, will say something that motivate the crowd, or everybody say ho ho, and that's a master of ceremony. That's the person that actually gets the crowd to have crowd participation. So that's the emceeing of it. That's the emceeing of it. Now dancing has been around since like forever, and what happens with us with the creation of it was that we took those styles, and we took those different parts of dancing, and we created our own. We created something that we did. And you have to remember, we were young kids. See, a lot of people get this hip hop creation mixed up. They really do, because they start at a later year than it was actually created. They start at 77, 78, 76. They start there. And by that time, it's like the people that created are going into that later years, and they are putting some age on them. So those early creators, one thing I could definitely say for me was that I wasn't going to get my clothes dirty, my brand new British Walkers, or my AJs, or my mock necks, or whatever, And then in the winter time, you got your quarter fields on, and then all of that stuff, So you weren't gonna get on the floor, number one, and dance. You weren't gonna do that. You weren't gonna mess up your clothes. Number two is, at that age, when you're getting a little bit up in age, you're not really trying to dance with guys. You're really trying to dance with a girl, and you want to go, leave with that girl. You get the girl's number, and you start talking, and then you hustle, you do your dances together with the girls. So it was not really, to me. I guess I just can't see myself meeting a girl, take her to the dance floor, and break dance on her. I can't see that. Maybe guys can see that. Maybe other people can see that, but I just face can't see that. So that's one of the things that led me into stop breakdancing. And once again, when we created break dancing, it was that we were battling each other. This kid had a better move than you, so you had to bring another move to take out that move that he made, and so on and so on. So we were showing off to the girls, but we were not dancing with the girls. So for a grown up, and this is just my opinion, for a grown up to actually come of age and still want to break dance, or still want to go down to the floor and everything, it's just like, I think that should be left to the younger generation. If the younger generation wants to pick it up and do it, that's cool too. But we innovate. We definitely get better and do things a little bit better. So that's one of the things that I thought that you would graduate from. You would graduate from dancing with each other to dancing with a male dances with a female dances with a male. That's just my opinion, though. So I can't I can't say that. But now, hey, and when I thought about that, I remember seeing this. Now, this was the event that just happened. Now, if you see the person in the black and white striped shirt, he was one of us. He was what he is, and still will always be one of us. And he when he broke dance, when he burned, it's Young Black, and he was down like with the creation, and he would go. And if you look at the scene here, you'll notice that they're going around him, around in circles, around a circle of him. So he could go in the middle of that circle and do his thing. He could just do his thing. He's one of the last ones that I know of that can actually move like we did when we were younger. And but I'm sure he doesn't want to do that now, of course, because he's not going to mess up his clothes. But I'm sure if we asked him to do it, he would probably just go ahead and be able to do it. So going back to what that element is the fact that he would dance and people would gather around to see him dance and see what move that he would be making. He would do a move. We would all do a move, and then right now, what he's doing right there in this picture is something that we call looking for your Vic. And that meant that you were looking for your next victim to burn, to take out, so to go off on. So that's what that stage of this is. So he'll do some moves, but he will actually go back into looking for his Vic. Okay, hold on. Let me. These things are popping up all over. Hold on. Let me see. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So now let me take a couple of comments and thank everybody and remind everybody to like and share, and support and subscribe. Okay. Oh, great thing that I thought about that. Ooh, that's a good thing that I thought about that here. Let me put this up. Okay, there you go. And I can also put that up. Okay, so now back to the comments. All right, so now, wow, let's shout out some people. China Black's in the building. JG is in the building. Peace, everybody that's in the building. Riri's in the building. Quest Kid is in the building. 73 is in the building. Kareem Smith, what's up from Las Vegas? He's in the building. Dwayne Stewart, peace, he's in the building. Coded Dialect, he's in the building. Okay, so let's go back. Let's go back to the top. Now, I'm going to put this up here because I see this is one of the first things, comments that I got. And it's from Ash Tavakara. Vacara. Okay. Ash Tavakara. Okay. So he says no graffiti. Okay. So that's the next element that I'll go back to, and I'll come back to that, Ash Tava. I'll come back to that because that's the next element that I'll be going into. So JG says, peace, family. Quest Kid 73, no break dancing. That's one of many hip hop dances. It's included so Latinos can tether. In the 80s, most groups had dancers damn near all black, but they exalted breakdancing. So, I must agree with you as far as them coming into it in the 80s. And to me, and this is something that I've said more than one time, to me, it's not breakdancing what they're doing. And I showed a couple of clips before on another video, and I want you guys to actually go and look at breakdancing, what they call breakdancing now. You'll see that it's just flips. It's who can flip the most, who can spin on their head the longest, who can do just these the kicking of the legs and all of that, who can do that. And so that's not break dancing. That's just basically just acrobats. That's all it is. It's not break dancing. And the people that keep on saying that these people are doing breakdancing, it's just that's not true, because that's totally not what they're doing. And I want you guys to really do it. Just grab one of the videos, especially of the Olympics, and watch them. Right, just watch them. There's no dance movements at all. There are no dance movements, and especially for the break. The break was easier to create moves to, because if it's just the drums, then it was only certain notes that you would do your body to, or your neck, or your hands, or your arms, your legs to. And that's why it was breakdancing, because we waited for that break to come and we did our dance. So yes, the breakdancing part of it, it got taken to a total different thing. So my theory in it is, they should not call it breakdancing. They should call it something else, or acrobat dancing, or whatever that you want to call it. Okay. Coded Dialect says Frankie Half Pint Jackson was also rapping in the 1920s and 30s. Yes. Yes, yes, he was. He sure enough was. The DJ, of course, the dancers can't dance without music. Exactly. And that's so true. But now, like I said, these dancers today, these so-called break dancers today, can actually do what they do without music. They can do what they do without music. And so that's a big part of to me, what makes it hip hop. That it's just, it's so funny that people can actually say that that's what it was. That that they're dancing without a beat. So how can that actually be dancing? I just can't get it. I can't get it. China Black says, hey, China Black, I'm put hers up here. Let me put her up there. Okay. China Black says a lot of people are trying to change the hip hop starting years to the late 70s so they can place themselves there, as if to say they were there in the beginning. And that's 100% true, China. You're 100% correct. 100% correct. And, I promised myself, I said that I wasn't gonna actually say or anything about a people. I said I wasn't going to do that, but then you have to really think about it. It comes to it comes down to, like I said, when we look at this, like when we look at this, you see us, and you see us there strong, and you see what we're liking, what we're doing. If you look at the faces, you can see that this is something that they do. This is something that's in our culture. This is something that we have inside of us. It's like we have that inside of us. So there's nothing that is new to us as far as our culture. That it's not something that we saw another people do, and we came and tried to do it. It's something that's inside of us. So at very young ages, we dance. At very young ages, we love the music. At very young ages, we are able to get down with the get down, at very young ages. So yes, yes. Okay, Rick 22, Y. Williams says, you should start a breakdance class for black youth. I wish, but I hey, that's one of the things that I am so against with having the Olympic is rules. You can't teach feeling. James Brown said that one time. You said you cannot teach feeling. And breaking and burning is a feeling that you have. And it's a way for you to express your feeling in motion. It's a way to express your feeling and dance or anything. And that's what the whole hip hop is about. It's about expression. So if I taught a dance, how to break dance, I would be teaching my moves, and that's my moves. That's something that I created. That's something that I did. And just like the people that were dancing against me, that's the creation of their moves. Now, there, of course, there's similar moves, and there people do basically the same move but different. That's what the feeling, where the feeling comes in at. So I wouldn't really be comfortable with saying, okay, if you didn't do it like this, that's not breakdancing, or if you don't do it like this, that's not breakdancing, or if you do it like that, that's breakdancing. I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that. I wouldn't feel comfortable. And somebody that puts rules on breakdancing, that's just those are the people that were really not there. They didn't know where the creation started. They don't know that we were creating the moves as we went. As we go, we were creating the moves. Okay. Yes, okay. Coded this dialect says, right, because it's just flipping and flipping around like the ray gun chick, which is true. So they're just, what's happening is, and that's, you know, okay, maybe I had put it wrong when I said it before, but I said when Puerto Ricans came in, they just messed it up. What I should have said is that we all have a different kind of rhythm setting. Okay, we all have a different, all races, all people have a different type of rhythm. And so I just, in my opinion, Puerto Ricans, pink people, they have a different type of rhythm than we do. It's just totally different. And so that's why, to me, that's why music can actually be excluded from it, because that rhythm, the creator's rhythm, is different than another person's rhythm. And so that's why it looks different to us, because when we, even our snap, our groove, our move, is totally different than different races. So that's part of it, of why I believe that happens, because it's just hard to imagine someone trying to do something that they don't have the rhythm to it. Okay, Coda Dialect. Phase, I wish you created a TikTok account. I've been holding it down for the culture over there heavy in my live stream. Oh, so what's happening over at TikTok? I I just started doing the YouTube, so I have to take baby steps, as to get to TikTok. But I'll eventually, I guess, will have to eventually go to TikTok, and and see what that's about, and do it. But thank you for that. Okay, let's go to and then I'm gonna go to the graffiti. Take one more, and then I'm gonna go to the graffiti. Yolanda says, I was looking at Cab Holloway, and he was rapping over jazz, and this was in early 40s. Right. Well, in jazz, there's several different elements of vocal language, as you would call it. There's such thing as scatting. There's such thing as rhyming. There's such thing as So in jazz, but it all basically goes down to vocal over music. Sometimes they'll sing and then break out into a scat, or something, or just start off with a scat and stay with the scat. Louis Armstrong would play different notes, and sing the different notes and stuff like that. So yes, Calloway, he would do a lot of different things that would go with the Ella Fitzgerald. She's another one that scattered and did a lot of things. So it's all about, it's basically create, and that's the difference. And I'm glad that you brought that up, but that's the difference with breakdancing as well. When you break dance, you're actually dancing to the beat. You're not dancing to the beat. Anything, that's why it's called a dance, because you're dancing. You're not just flipping around. You're not just spinning on your head. You're not just doing acrobats. Don't call it dancing, because that's not what dancing is. Even a ballerina, if you really look at a ballerina, they do moves to the music. And basically, look at the dance theater of Harlem. Look at those dancers that do that, and they actually dance to the beat. Like, they dance to the beat, and that's the difference. Nobody wants to just see somebody just doing acrobatics. Make it just acrobats, and let's see who can flip the longest, or who can spin on their head the longest, or what that is that. But that has nothing to do with breakdancing. And so that's basically. I'm gonna take one more before I go into the graffiti. Okay, Ricky says, oh, he's replying. He says, what I'm saying. He says, what I'm saying is that teach the original way. Yeah. I wish I could. I'm getting back in shape though, fellas. People, I'm getting back in the shape. I've been working out. I do my exercise. I do my dieting and stuff. So I'm taking off those pounds that I can actually start doing the things that I wanted to do back. Okay, so let's go back. Now, let's go to graffiti. All right, let's go to graffiti. Um, why is graffiti an element? Hold on, let me look at that again. Hold on. Why is graffiti an element? Okay, so are you guys ready for why graffiti is an element? Are you guys ready? Are you really, guys? Are you really ready to see why it's an element? Okay, so I'm gonna break it down to you. What makes graffiti an element? So, as we know, that kids, youth created what we call hip hop, right? Youth did that. And as a youth, we were not allowed in the clubs, the discotheque. We were not allowed really inside to adult party. We were not. That's just keep it real. That's it. So we had to create a space that we were allowed. And sometimes we wouldn't want the adults to come, just like everybody that has a clubhouse. They have a clubhouse that has no girls, a clubhouse that has no adults, and so we wanted us to have something that we could have. Okay, so let's go with the flyer. So I said it before on a video, but you have to. This will be a little bit more clear to when we first started. All right, if we were well, I'll even take it back to the beginning before the jams. Before the jams, our way of letting people hear our records and our music was to, if you lived in a building, you would get to someone's apartment where you could look outside and see people. You could see people, sitting down, playing, talking, or whatever. So what we would do would we take a speaker and we put it at the window, and the people would start dancing and listening and coming together and fellowshipping while they're listening to our music. um we're we were just, I guess, mischievous kids. So what we would do, we would snap on the microphone. Now we're in the safety of the apartment, so whoever we snapped on, they couldn't get us at the time that we were snapping. They would have to wait until we come outside for us to get it. So we took full advantage of that, and we would see somebody downstairs. Maybe they weren't dressed right, or maybe we're just talking about anything to make people laugh, and we would do that. And so, how we would do it would be, because remember, we were trying to emulate Picnic Markham. And so, what we would do was we would take the record and we'd put it on the drum break, and we'll play boom do that that do that do that that do that. Turn the volume down, get on the mic and say, your family got their whole living room set from Corvettes. Everybody will laugh, and then they will put the music back on. So that was our start to what we were doing. That was our start to how we started. Okay, so now after doing this a couple of times, people actually, we had a time that we would do it. So people would know to come at that time if they wanted to hear us play music out the window. So they, so it started getting big. I was just looking at the building the other day. When we did Bronxdale Day, and I looked at the two buildings that I had started doing that at. And it was just it's crazy that they moved the benches that was there before, as if to say they don't want us fellowshipping with each other anymore. And that was very heartbreaking. The playground is gone, and it's like it's more like a prison. These projects now are more like prison than people's homes, and it's really getting bad. And then you have to wonder, why so much violence, why so much corruption, why so much things are happening, is because these people are not feeling like they're at home anymore. They feel like they're in jail. Why would they remove the benches? Why would they remove the playground for the kids? Where are the kids going to go and play? And so their parents or whoever's watching them can sit on the bench and watch them play and stuff. So they're removing these things and making these projects type of a jail, so that you don't want to be there. You don't want to come outside or whatever. The kids don't want to come outside. They want to just do what they've been doing, and it's really getting bad for us. But back to what I was saying. So people back then would come at the time that we would play this music. And so now, like I said, now we're building up a crowd to hear us do what we were doing. Okay. And so while we're playing that music, they're downstairs dancing, doing their moves. They're talking. They're getting girls, and girls getting guys, and so it started becoming a thing that we were doing. And so what's the next best thing is to find Mario. Okay. And so Mario was putting his music and equipment outside. So he would actually bring the turntable downstairs and the stuff and the speakers outside. So that was great for us. We're baby spades and everything. Mario was a black spade and everything. So Mario let us put our records that we were playing, that all the people are liking us playing, on his turntable. So now we have a bigger audience and we have a bigger sound because of Mario. And so now going back to what happened was, so now when Mario was doing that, remember, and letting us do that, we're still kids. We're not thinking about a flyer. We're not thinking about paying, because what a flyer is, it's an invitation, but it's usually an invitation to actually pay. So back then, the fee might have been 50 cents, or it might be $1. And because there were quarter jams, 50-cent jams, it might have been $1. And then, when we started doing the flyers, it might have been $1.50 with the flyer. Okay, so that's where the flyers came in now. The reason why we didn't have flyers is because in those days, we might have had equipment, but to buy a generator, an actual generator, was like, no way. You would have to be actually rich to buy a generator. So what we used to do was we would find a test plug in the light post, and we would plug it into there. So now this is the catch. Uh, every light pole didn't have a test plug. We were fortunate to find some that did have the chest plug in it. And what we would do is we would run back, get the equipment, and set it up. So we didn't have the privilege to say, okay, we're going to set up here right now today, or we're going to say we didn't have that. So we why would how could we make a flyer and say we're going to be at a certain place and get there and they don't have a test plug there? We couldn't call Con Edison and say we need a test plug over in this light bulb because we're stealing the electricity as it is. Okay, so all of those people that said, oh, where's the flyer for it? You don't know nothing about stealing electricity from the light pole, and a lot of people, they don't know that. They just don't know how it was done. All they know is that people were out there DJing and that's it. So that's where the test plug comes in, and the jam. So now fast forward, they started making flyers. Okay. And so when they made these flyers, of course, they were handwritten. They were handwritten flyers. They were not professional flyers that you go to a printer and you get the stencil and all that. No, they were not. They were handwritten flyer. Buddy Esquire, Phase Two. Oh God, what was his name? Man, I can't think of his name, but they would make these flyers with their hand. So at the time, these people are graffiti writers. So of course they're gonna put graffiti. They're gonna write this flyer in graffiti. So now people look at this flyer, they see the graffiti, they know that it's a hip hop jam that they're going to. So they kind of put that in together. They said, okay, if you see this flyer, this flyer is nice, this flyer is bad. So that's what becomes a thing or whatever. And then this is the catch. This is what made it hip hop, what made graffiti hip hop. It wasn't until the graffiti started being on the jackets and the jean jackets, and it would have your name on there and maybe your group on there, your crew or whatever, and it would be in different graffiti letters with different colors and stuff, and this became the thing. Okay, so that's a part of the element that was introduced because of what we were doing, what we were wearing, which comes to the next element. The next element is the fashion. Okay, so there's a difference between hip hop fashion and what people wear. Even today, you can wear a polo shirt and some khakis and some penny loafers, and you can be considered a nerd. But if you wear your polo a certain way and you wear your hat a certain way, and instead of penny loafers, you got on some British or some hustlers or some Bally's or any of the the stylish shoes and stuff like that, then or sneakers, that makes it become your attire. It then becomes hip hop. And so that's where the fashion comes in at. I remember back in the days where we would have Izod Lacoste, because it was two names to one, and we were cool when we had the alligator, but then the cheaper version to that was the La Tigra, with the tiger on it, and so our crew, being who we were like, man, if I catch you with that tiger on your shirt, man, we're gonna rip it off of you. We're gonna rip the tiger off of you and everything, because that was our style. Our style was, we wanted to be expensive. We wanted to be the first ones with it. And so that's how it became fashion. I heard somebody say about that the Puerto Ricans came out with the Kango hats, and mm-mm. No, that's just not true. The big time hustlers, and because the Kango hat actually was for golfers. It was golfers. That's just like sneakers. Some people, even in the South till today, call sneakers tennis shoes. Okay, so they were made for people playing tennis. They have a certain shoe that's called basketball shoe. That's what Converse were. They were a basketball shoe. So that's when people, us Northerners, we started saying sneakers. These are sneakers, and we didn't go with the tennis shoes. And that's another thing with the slang. Okay, well, let's stay on fashion for a minute, and then we'll go back to the next element. Okay, so yes, the fashion then became an element of hip hop, and this is in the creation. This is not way down the line. This is not 73, 74, 75, 76. This is in the creation of it. Knowing that you had to dress a certain way to hang with the people that were actually bringing this about. Okay, so that's the fashion part about it. Um, Slang, the talk, the hip hop talk. Now, I can't remember all of the words that were said back in the creation, but things like cool, things like hip, things like those type of words were a slang, and that was it went along with our culture. To be honest with you, we would say groovy, and people were, back then thought that that was a hip word to say. But if you say it these days, people are looking at groovy. What's groovy? And they change words all the time. Like I heard some younger people saying it was stacked, or it was something, and it's just totally different from what we had as our slang. So yes, the way we were talking, the way we would use the different dialogues and stuff, that made it hip hop. So that's an element of it. One of the ways that we talked in this is snapping. That's what we were doing on the mic. So that's an element. When even today, when they're battling each other, they're basically snapping on each other. They're snapping, saying, when the battle is. And even though now today, they're talking about what they'll do with a gun and all of that stuff that we weren't saying in the beginning. We would snap to make fun of. That's it. Just friendly, make fun of stuff. And that's basically what we did. It had nothing to do with what drugs basically, or killing somebody, or any of those things that it turned into. So yeah, that's it. Snapping was a big part of it, element of hip hop. So those are what I think, that's like 5 or 6 or whatever. Now, having fun, great element, because that's what it started out to be. It started out to be, having fun. And once we were having fun, you know, hey, that's what we were doing. We wanted to play, we wanted to show, just everything. We wanted to hold on. Let me see if I can pull this up. Right, hold on. We wanted to have fun, and we wanted to show each other that we were having fun. We didn't just say, okay, we're gonna come outside today and we're gonna just do this, and everything was serious, or we were gonna battle somebody or make. No, that's not what we were doing. What we were doing was having fun. And what is fun? Fun is listening to music. Fun is dancing to the music. Fun is talking over the microphone. Fun is showing off your clothes, showing off what you're wearing. There's so many things that's having fun about, what we were doing and what is now called hip hop. That's an element of it, because if you're not having fun, you shouldn't even be there. If you're not having fun, what are you doing? You're supposed to have fun. So that's an element of it. That's an element of hip hop. Okay, let me go now to Vic FM. Exactly. Hip hop was created by Black Americans. Everybody else don't have the soul and the spirit of Black Americans. Why do you think there's not many Latino rappers on the radio? Hmm. Good question. Good question. And like I said before, I have nothing against Puerto Ricans. I don't want people to think that I'm anti Puerto Rican or I'm anti Jamaican, or no, I'm not. What my problem is this. So I'm a creator. I am a creator of this whole culture, this whole thing, this thing called hip hop. And I take offense to someone, number one, saying that they were there when they were not. If just say, for instance, you have 1,000 people, and you have 1,000 of us freedmen, right? And you have one Puerto Rican, or two Puerto Rican, or three Puerto Ricans, right? You can't say that all of Puerto Rico was there with those 1,000 people. You cannot say that. And that's basically what was happening. I'm not saying, when I say that they're not there, meaning that there was no more than five at a time in the beginning, in the creation of it. There was no more than five. You got 200, 300 of us, and you got five. That's the part that just, I don't know what happened to me. Okay, they bring up Tex, all right, out of our crew. Right, they say, oh well, Tex was right by Mario, right by side. So look at our crew, and look at the one half Puerto Rican. You see what I'm saying? Look at the one half Puerto Rican in the crew. So you can that one person in the crew becomes all of Puerto Rico. All the Puerto Ricans was there for that one person. And so that's what just confuses me. Like, how can you say that? So well, we could say the same thing. Everything in Puerto Rico that happened, um, we were there. We started everything that they did. Salsa, all of that stuff, merengue, all of that stuff. We were there. So we should say 50-50 for we were there. We were there, we were there. Okay. And so now when I say it like that, then I guess they would actually get mad because they would see that that's true. You if you're in a band and someone hires a Spanish, or a Puerto Rican person to play the bongos. Now you got 50 people in the band, and this one Puerto Rican that's playing the bongos and playing what the band leader told them to play, and it becomes a 50-50. So just tell me how that works. If somebody can explain to me how that becomes 50-50, I'll shut up. I'll shut up. I won't say another word about it, but it's just no way in the world. It doesn't make sense for you to say 50-50 because you were standing there. You were standing there, you were in the audience or whatever, and it's like going saying at the Apollo. You got the Apollo, and everybody's rocking in the Apollo, and there's two of them in the audience and say, hell, we part of the Apollo. We 50-50 Apollo. And that it doesn't make sense. And so, for me, one of the creators, I feel embarrassed. I feel hurt. I feel like, why say that? Why, we're not doing that. We're not going over to salsa, even though we have the legitimate right to say it. We're not going to salsa and say, hey, listen, we're 50-50 making salsa. And then a little while longer, we'll say, well, we created all the salsa, and that's it. We have the rights to, but we don't do that. We do not do that. So the whole narrative of someone coming in, it's not for fun. It's not for creating a element or something. It's a $1 trillion business. I want in. Simple. It's a $1 trillion business. I want in. Okay. Let's take a couple more. And then we'll be, hey, the boosted do China Black. Hey, okay. Michael Jenkins. Let's see what Michael Jenkins says. Michael Jenkins says, what's poppin'? My hip hop brother, talk that truth. This is Widowsmatic Master Dawn from Richmond, Van. Let them know who the creators of the culture are. They need to get that money to the creators. Right. Exactly. And I think that's where a big part of this whole situation is that the people that be the people, the higher ups, do not want to give us. That's just like reparations. They don't want to give us, the creators, the money, because that will start evening the playing field. And that's the whole thing with reparations now. My Freedmen Brothers, BTP, they're fighting for us now, for us to get reparations. And that's what the whole fight is about, because imagine us being on the same playing field. And that they don't want that. They do not want us to be on the same playing field. So that's where the big part of not giving it to somebody else. Let's give this money to them because they're not going to do what we would do. And so that's a big part. So a lot of us want you to realize what's really happening. Okay, true. Or I think you weren't here for that. Okay, why do people say graffiti is Latin culture? Well, how can I put it? How can I put it? The best way that I think, my opinion, is that a lot of times what we do, we usually do for a cycle, and we kind of drift off, or we create something different. I know, I know for a fact, I know from what I seen, and I seen in the '60s, people would write graffiti on their notebooks, would write graffiti on their school desk, would write carve graffiti, their names on a tree, you know. Right, if you're spray painting a bike, which we used to do all the time, whatever paint is left in the can, we'll write on something, so, and that was us, that was us. And so, that's one thing that I know for a fact. I used to see Saint, I used to see Superstar, I used to see the spade emblem, and that's the spade emblem was since '67. That would be their black spades, marking territory. You would see it a whole bunch. You would see just like a lot of graffiti, and it was us, early, and I saw that early. So, like I said, some things we would create or whatever, and before us would create or whatever, and then, as a cycle, it would be kind of put it to the side and do something else. So, for us, me, especially, because I was a graffiti, I wrote on walls, I did all of that. And I started saying, no, man, I'm not getting no spray paint on my clothes, or my fingers or whatever. Because, see, and that's another thing, people that don't have respect. Um, if we were kids and we had spray paint or magic marker on our hands and fingers, and we go in the house and our parents saw that we had these, the first thing they're gonna say is, "What were you doing? What were you doing? You're writing on a wall something. Why you got marker on your thing? What were you doing?" And the paint and the bike thing, couldn't say that all the time, And so, you have respect for your parents, and we're like, oh, whatever. And so if they found out that that's what you was doing, or if they go in the elevator and see your name on the elevator in magic marker, there's your ass, simple as that. That's your ass, we go and but my parents, they would have made me go and clean it off. I don't care if it was permanent marker or whatever it was. I would have to get that off, And so that's why basically what happened. Just like breakdancing, we started doing it. It kind of got old to us. We wanted to do the next thing. They came along and started doing it. That's just basically it. Hip Hop New York 68, New York City 68. Peace, peace. How are you? Wow, let me look at the time. Okay, hold on. China Black says 1 and 2 with sneakers. Yeah, but even that came later. That came later, China. And I'm glad you said that on the flyer. $1 and $2 with sneakers, because see, you remember in the beginning flyers, it was basically we wanted you to wear sneakers. You wanted you to have the new sneakers that were out. We wanted you to wear that. We wanted you to look like those type of things. So Yeah, we the sneakers came later, when people started wearing the British Walkers and started wearing the Playboys and the Bally's and all the other different shoes that they started wearing. So yeah, it started to happen. Okay, Coded Dialect says, okay, Columbus could never give this type of insight on this culture. We appreciate you, Faze. Thank you, Coded. Thank you so much. Remember to donate. Please donate, everybody. I left it up there. Please donate for this information I'm trying to spread, and let us all get this knowledge that we can know and we could teach our children, because we don't want people to come and take our culture, take everything. We're already, how much has been taken away from us. Everything is being taken away from us. So, let's please support, man, so that we can keep this channel up. I can keep on bringing you information. There's so much stuff that we're gonna talk about in the later shows. We're gonna dig deep into why the different people come and want to steal. We're going to do that. I have a lot of pictures that I want to show of the earlier times, the earlier jams. I want to show the equipment that was used at these jams, and so how people say that they did this or they did that when the equipment wasn't even available for them to do so. Yes, 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 I'm definitely want to keep the channel going. I definitely want to keep on bringing the information, and keep it going. Let's go to another element first before I go, but let's go back into the fashion, because that's the element that's not really known to people about the fashion. Okay, so when hip hop was created in 1971, there were such things as, we could go to Army and Navy stores. We could go to basically bargain stores to get different things. Now, what was the difference was that for us, it wasn't real if it came to from one of those type of stores. It wasn't real to us. Take for instance, if you went and you got a mock neck from Alexander's, and in the back of your mock neck it had the A, we would snap on you, because that was not real. That was not considered real to us. People don't know what Alexander's was. It was a bargain store. It was a store that you could go and get items that you would usually pay at a high end store for lower price. So the material and everything was a different quality. So back in those days, you had Buster Brown shoes, you had Tom McCann shoes. Tom McCann usually had floor shine in it, so it had floor shine shoes in it. Okay, so now if you went to Buster Brown and you got some shoes, to us, those were like the second editions of them, maybe even the third edition of the shoes. So we, at an early age, would go to what is turned out to be high end stores like British Walker. Okay, so I'm not going to go back too far back to marshmallows, but marshmallows were sold at British Walker as well. I'll go back to Rips. A lot of people don't know what Rips are. People don't know, but Rips are basically the tie up British walkers that had a black soul with ripples in it. Okay, and that's rips. So rips basically came out in the 60s, but we sported them in the 70s. Okay, so early 70, like 70, people still rocking them 71 and 72. But like again, after we started rocking them, then you could go to Tom McCann and get some rips. You might even go to Buster Brown and get some rips. So after you started getting, places like that you can actually get the rips and stuff like that, then we fell back from that. Oh man, the time is going again. Oh my God, I hate when this happens. Okay, so I'm gonna have to do another part two continuation to the elements. But the next thing we'll be talking about is the which came first, the Playboys or the British Walkers. Those are different elements. I'm gonna take a couple of things. Oh, Patrick, hey, let me put Patrick up there. Let me put Patrick up there because Patrick Young he's on the right path. He's on the right path. Let's say DJ Faze, I just made a small donation to the cause. This is a worthy cause indeed. Okay? So let's follow Patrick Young's lead. Okay? Let's follow it. We're gonna actually, like I said, tomorrow. I guess I have to do it tomorrow because I usually don't do in a row like that. But this subject, what are the elements of hip hop, needs to be brought to our attention, and it needs to be classified as what the elements are because people just don't know. And if they find out what these elements are, that will basically show who is who. That'll show that, wait a minute, if that's your culture, then why isn't it your culture today? Why, what did you bring from your culture to add to the creation of hip hop? And that's a big question that till this day I have not heard anybody bring up. I said it before. Okay, let's say that Puerto Ricans say that they're 50-50, right? Okay, so that meant that they took something from their culture, which is not language, because Spanish is not a part of creation of hip hop. Um, the fashion, you can tell the difference between the older Puerto Rican dress than our dress, so it's not fashion. The DJing part of it, the DJs would have brought Spanish music into the culture. That didn't happen. We still to this day we don't include Spanish music in hip hop. They actually started reggaeton and stuff like that. So that's separate. Mcing, they would have brought, like I said, once again, they would have been bringing Spanish music, Spanish lyrics to hip hop, and that still today is just not it. Dancing, I'm sure in the 70s, they weren't breakdancing in Puerto Rico. I'm sure they weren't. Like I said, I have Spanish friends, Puerto Rican friends. I have Puerto Rican friends, and their parents and they didn't know about breakdancing in the 70s. They didn't know anything about it. So I don't understand what part of that culture actually came from Puerto Rico to here. So that's it. Like I said, it sounds so, I guess, so harsh for me to say it the way that I say it, meaning that, you know, Puerto Ricans did not do 50-50 because there's still today, there's nothing that you can say that was brought from Puerto Rico or Puerto Rican people to the culture, to the hip hop. One more, let me see this one. It says, Ill 110 says, Phase, I had jocks and clothes from Alexander's life was hard for me, LOL. And you listen, everybody, well, not everybody, but there are a lot of us that in the 70s, the early 70s, we didn't have as much as I'll say the pink people. We didn't have as much, but we did. Our parents did the best they can, and some of us were fortunate to have two working parents in the household. But for us, my little 7-man crew that grew a little bit bigger, we had a advantage, and our advantage was at 8, 9, 10 years old, 11 years old. We had Pathmark, which was the grocery store slash everything store right in our project. It was Pathmark was actually in the third section of our project. So we were able to pack bags, take bags to the cars, or even if you would have a senior in the projects and they wanted grocery, they'll send you with the grocery list. You go get them, and that's a couple of dollars. That's not just a quarter, or 15 cents, or 50 cents, or a dollar. That's a couple of dollars that you would get for going, get their grocery, and bringing it back. Some of us, would know the elderly person, and we'll put the groceries away and everything. So this was a way for us every single day to make money. So we were making good money in the 70s, early 70s, and at a young age. So that's why we were able to say, here's $50. I want a pair of British Walkers. I want a mock neck. I want a AJ's, or whatever, because we would do that, and so the older G's would be like, of course, anything you got, I got. Anything I got, you got, whatever. And that's what, especially Black Willie and all of the other people, my elders would say to us. And so we would give them the money, or they'll take us with them. They'll take us with them downtown. We'll jump on the 6th train, go to 125th Street, walk up 125th Street from Lexington Avenue, hit British Walker, hit AJ Lester, and that's what we did. So that's another reason why it's so hard for people to understand how young we were. Because they could not imagine that these young kids would make $20 or $30 a day. That's like unheard of. But just imagine if you're packing bags. Just say if you got to Pathmark at 7:00 in the morning, right? And the first bag you packed was 50 cents, 25 cents. That's the first bag you packed at 7:00 in the morning, right? So the next bag you took to the car, right? That's 50 cents, maybe $1, right? Maybe 25 cents. It doesn't matter. All right. So at 7:00 in the morning, you're already starting off with $2 or $3. You're already starting off, and that's 7:00 in the morning. So imagine the kids that stayed from 7:00 in the morning to maybe 4:00, or regular hours of work hours, 5:00 or whatever, 3:00, whatever. Imagine keep on getting those 50 cents, those 25 cents, the dollars. That adds up. That adds up, people. And that's why it's so hard for somebody to say, man, you were 8 years old getting $10 or $20 or $30 a day, at 8 years old and 9 years old, 10 years old, and so that's why it's hard for people to actually understand what was going on. So me, shoot, I and the record shop was right on Westchester Avenue. So either we go up St. Lawrence or we go up Beach Avenue straight from Pathmark, and I'm going to buy 3 or 4 or 5 records. Okay, that's without a doubt. And this was happening every day. Okay, so any record I'll never forget when I went and I got Honeycomb and all of that stuff, and so that's where we would do. We were collecting these things. I used to collect AFX cars, Lionel cars, kites, all kinds of things that we were able to purchase. So we didn't even have to ask our parents for stuff. We could just go get it because we have the money. The truck used to come and park between Beach Avenue and on Watson Avenue. And they used to sell candy apples and knishes and hot dogs, hamburgers, French fries, candy, all of that stuff. You remember back in the 70s, you could have 25 cents, go to the store and die from sugar. Get so much candy, bags of candy, that you just be on a rush for the whole rest of the day. You'd be running around the whole projects or whatever from getting this sugar. Okay, so times were different. Times were totally different, and that's why people don't understand that that's our culture. That's what we did. We're born hustlers. We're born to have fun. We're born to know how to dance and to show off and all that. That's in our culture. All right. That's about it for me. I'm gonna come back tomorrow and do part 2 tomorrow, and I'm gonna do part 2. There's too many comments here that I I can't do. It is even other pictures and stuff that I wanted to put up and everything, but like I said, I didn't want to go past the hour, but I went past the hour. So please like, share, subscribe, donate. Like, share, subscribe, donate. Okay. You guys, I love you guys. I hope that the Puerto Ricans and the Jamaicans will look at my channel and see that no, I'm not against Puerto Ricans. No, I'm not against Jamaicans, but I just want to tell the truth. I want it to be known, no, there was not a 50-50. And that's it. So peace and love. Peace and love to you guys. That's it. I love you guys. You have a good one.